Hello, my name is David with Winning Solutions. We hope this video will be all the help you need. Are you trying to create an Access database, but find that it is too much work, or you could be doing something more productive with your time? WSI can do all the hard work for you. Just contact us via the information below this video. We will work with you to determine how much time and money will be needed to build your new database. If you'd prefer to have your database built with .NET, Microsoft SQL Server, so you can run it on your Windows desktop or anywhere in a web browser, we could do that too. So this tutorial is going to be on the subject of referential integrity. What the heck is referential integrity? Why do I need it? What does this have to do with databases, Access versus Excel, relational databases versus spreadsheets, and all that? Well, the complete answer to that question would probably require a 1-hour video. I'm just going to go through a very basic introduction of what referential integrity is and why you need it. So we've got a very simple database set up here. We've got a table for customers and we've got a table for orders. Now we're going to start out very simple, the way you might set this up if it were, say, a Excel spreadsheet. So for the time being, we're going to kind of semi-ignore that customers table. Let me just get this so I can zoom in on that part of the screen. We'll just kind of leave it hanging out there, but we have, just to show you the table, the order ID is going to, order ID is going to automatically increment the customer we type in, or at least for now we're going to type in. You'll see why that's not such a good idea. And the order total is just a currency. So this is very basic. We're not having a products table or all that. We're just going to add in some random amounts here. Okay, so actually let's show the customers table again here. Let's just, I'm going to obsess a little bit with anything spaced out here. Okay, so our first customer is going to be Frodo Baggins. Almost misspelt. I almost misspelt it, and that's going to bring up a good point. But let's say he has an order for $45, and another order, Harry Potter. Ordered a few wands, I guess. Wands are expensive. Frodo places another order. And let's say this one is for $80, and so on. Okay, oh, I made a spelling mistake. Yeah, but that's on purpose. I'll show you. You know, if you have an Excel spreadsheet, and we've made videos like this in the past showing you why relational databases are important, how easy it is to make a spelling error. And I go search for all of Frodo's orders, and all I'm going to find is this. I'm not going to find this one. It's a very, very bad idea. So this is the case where you would put in a table of customers, so you have a fixed list of customers. Now, of course, in a real-life situation, you would probably separate first name and last name. You'd put an address, maybe a phone number, an email, or maybe you put that in a separate table. We're not going to get fancy here. But bottom line is you have a table of customers. So let's change the design of the orders table a little bit. I'm actually going to have to, well, you know what? I'm going to put the new data in first because I'm going to make this a customer a number column, but I can't leave words in there, right? So Frodo, Harry, Frodo. I made a customers table. Let's just pretend we made this customers table just now. And so I'm going to put customer number 1. And I put in another order for customer number 1, so you can see it's not the same as order ID. I can put another order for Henry Plantagenet, and you know, well, that is person 4, order 4, isn't it? Okay, let's make this Abe Lincoln's order, and now order for Plantagenet. Okay, do you see? So one's order ID, one's customer ID. So we're going to change this. We have to close it first, and let's make this. I'm going to make this customer ID, and I'm going to want to make it a number. It's going to be long integer by default. That's okay. So we're going to close it. It's going to save, and we made sure we put numbers in there, so this should not be a problem. But it says some data may be lost. You know, if I had left those as words, if I had left the names in the orders table, it would have given me a problem with that. So that's why I changed the customer IDs in advance. Now you know that now that we have everything set up this way, we can now make a query to bring those two tables together. So I'm going to make customers and orders and bring those in, and now we have a primary key, foreign key relationship. Again, just to kind of refresh your memory. Primary key, and one's custody and one's customer ID. But anyway, primary key, customer ID. Again, primary key uniquely identifies a row. We're going to connect this to the foreign key of customer ID in the orders table. So now, if we want, now I can get order ID, customer name, and order total. We can kind of recreate that. And you see, I don't have to worry about misspelling because we simply enter the customer ID instead of the customer name. Now, in reality, you're not going to be entering data manually like this. You're not going to go through the table. You're going to have a list of customers and a customer ID. You're going to look up their customer ID and enter it. I mean, that would be obviously very, very unnecessarily time consuming. But let's suppose for the moment, we add another order, and I add an order. Gee, let's suppose we did it that way. This is one of the pitfalls. I forget the customer numbers, and I enter a customer ID 8 and put an order total in there. Now, Access accepts this just fine, even though there is no customer 8. But Access doesn't mind that, because as far as it's concerned, all it cares about is the customer ID as a number. It doesn't care that there's no customer to look up, but of course, we care. And so let's take this out. We have to remove this, do what we're about to do. And this is where referential integrity comes in. I mean, again, in reality, we would have a form where we would select a customer from a drop-down box, and selecting that customer would insert their customer ID in there. Maybe we'll do that at a later time or in a later video. But what I want to do, as a matter of fact, let's actually close all of these. I'll say this is query 1. That's generally not a good idea, but for our purposes, it'll do. I'm going to go into the relationships window, and I want to have a formal relationship of referential integrity between those two tables. So this is very similar to how the query was set up. I'm going to put customers and orders in here. Now, I'm going to do very similar thing, but I'm going to take customer ID, again, primary key, slide it over to customer ID, the foreign key. Now I'm going to get this little window here. Enforce referential integrity. So what does that mean? Well, actually, I'll better show you by demonstrating it. So I'm just going to put that in there. And you see this forms a one-to-many relationship, meaning obviously every customer can exist only once in the customer table, but that customer ID can refer to several orders, right? One customer can have several orders, one-to-many. But let's close this and save it. Now, we're going to go to the orders table. Let's open both of these and resize a little bit there. Okay. So we open that orders table. Now, what happens if we try to add a customer ID 8? We get a little error message. You cannot add or change a record because a related record is required in table customers. That's what referential integrity means. So it's a partial, it's a partial protection against entering a bad. At least we can't enter a customer that doesn't exist. So it doesn't make it necessarily easy to enter in general. But it's not going to let me add because referential integrity. I'm going to press escape now to just kind of get out of this. But if I go to the relationships window that we just had open, what this is saying is that if I enter a customer ID in this table, it better exist in here, or else it's going to throw an error message. Now, there are two other options here. Cascade update and Cascade delete. To show you what those mean, if I go in, let's say I take an existing order, and obviously I can't take an existing order and change that either, but let's suppose I change one of the customers. I can change a customer ID in here. That's not a problem. Okay, so I changed the customers table so that this is no longer an auto number. This is a, you have to enter a customer ID. Oh, did I change the relationships back? I might not have. No, okay, so this should still work just as it did before. Access. It can be picky sometimes. All right, let's do this. All right. Now, where were we? Yes, okay, so now, if I change, let's say I change Abe Lincoln's customer ID to 8. Now we have a different issue here. The record cannot be deleted or changed because orders includes related records. So even though there's technically nothing wrong with me changing a customer ID, but it's the one side of a one-to-many relationship. In other words, it's saying, now wait a second, you don't have any 8s in here. This would create a referential integrity error. Let's put this back the way it was. I want to make an adjustment to the relationships, and this adjustment. So I'm going to change this to Cascade. I'm going to check Cascade update and Cascade delete, and so we'll see what these two. Cascade update means that if I change a customer ID, it will automatically change that ID in the so-called child tables. Delete is the same thing if I delete. So if with these unchecked, I can't change Lincoln's. In fact, let's cancel this. I can't delete him either. Again, record cannot be deleted or changed because orders included. So I'm kind of stuck by the way this relationship is set up. So this is the case if you say once there's information entered in the orders tables, these cannot be messed with. You cannot remove a customer, so we don't always want that. So I'm going to go ahead and check both of those. Oops. Cascade update, Cascade delete. Let's see how that changes. Of course. Customers, orders. It gets very picky like that. All right. So we're going to go Cascade update, Cascade delete. Finally, you're going to allow me to save it. So now, let's see what happens. If I take a customer ID, now let's change Lincoln to customer ID 8. And keep your eye on the orders table. You see, it changed. This was 3, it now became 8. Fine, let's change it back to 3. Again, watch that highlighted row. See, changes back to 3. If I delete Harry Potter, now I get a message saying relationships that specify cascading deletes are about to cause one record in this table along with records and related tables to be deleted. That's basically a long way of saying, well, okay, if you delete them from this table, this parent table, so-called parent table, it's going to delete from all child tables too. So I'm taking out customer ID 2. So customer ID 2 will disappear from the orders table as well. And you see it says deleted. If we just refresh, it'll get rid of that. So that's what referential integrity is, and that's why it's so important to put in your databases. And if we wanted a better way to add a customer to an order, we could make a form and have the customer selected from a drop-down box, because obviously when you're entering orders, you're not going to go through a table. You should never, a database application should never require the user to manually put data in a table. But that's the way it is for now. If I want to put order number 6, order. Okay, so if I would put another order in, there's no 2 anymore. But another order for number 4, we could do that too. We might ask ourselves, well, what is the proper way to enter a customer into an order? We're going to make a very simple form. As a matter of fact, I don't normally use Form Wizard, but I'm going to go to the Form Orders table and put in Form Wizard. We want order ID. Well, yeah, I'm just going to add all of them, even though it's not going to stay that way. So we start a new order here. Well, the order ID, we'd have to put... Oh, we did... Okay, order IDs are still order numbers, which is the customer IDs. Okay, so we're going to choose a customer. Now we can choose a customer, and if you try to type it in and misspell, it's not going to let you do it, because that's not on the list. So now we can make sure we select a customer that already exists in the database before going ahead and adding that order. Thank you for watching. We hope this video was all the help you needed for your Access database. If you are struggling to create an Access database that does what you need it to do and just want someone to make that happen for you, that is the business we are in. Our contact information is below the video. You can reach out to us and we will work with you to determine how long it will take and how much it will cost to get your database up and going. If the time and cost are acceptable to you, WSI will get to work and make your database vision a reality. Perhaps Microsoft.NET or MS SQL Server would be the better choices for your new database, so it can run on your Windows desktop or anywhere in a web browser. WSI will help you make this determination if you like. Again, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day.